Okay, go ahead. So, Boss Fight Books, they write books on video games. It'll be like someone's journey through a game. For instance, one is on Chrono Trigger. I've not picked up and read any of their books yet, mainly because a lot of the games that they talk about, and they will be about, they'll be about someone's journey with the games, and then they'll do research on how the game was made. Here's this person that you might not know as attached to the game. Here's what these things mean in the game, and they were all fantastic. A lot of them are literature people. They're all book people. So I got to have a really awesome, nerdy conversation, and they recommended a fantastic book to me called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
What happened? It's plain as day. A drunk Banuk thug picked a fight with Ruas. Struck him down from behind and
stole his headdress. Oh no!
They're not going to get anything useful out of him, whether they talk to you or don't. They gather up like floats in a chill wind every time a hunter dies out here. Won't even hand Ruas's killer over for a proper trial.
Where's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels?
And hold him up for the sun to consider over days. Even his Clement may only take his sight.
Should be like right around here.
It's not. Oh well.
Yes, it is. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels is the story behind developments of games. It's written by Jason
Schreiner
from Kotaku. Probably one of the best sources to get any video game information you want from. Their articles are pretty comprehensive. They often do a really good job. They'll insert their opinions and they'll let you know, but it is a little bit different, and I found it fantastic. It was a huge eye-opening experience, mainly because I am very outspoken about certain games and being like, fuck that game.
He has strong thoughts.
Fuck that game, fuck that company for making that game. And that's really not the way to look at it, because a lot of work goes into games they don't pay attention to, and then you don't realize that some people, it's the games that they were working on, they had all the faith of in the world, and then inter-office politics, life, whoever owns them, just being as young and new as they are, gets in the way and will stop it. And it's fantastic. I highly recommend reading it. I also highly recommend checking out Boss Fight Books if you're into a little bit more retro-style games. They've got Mega Man 3, Chrono Trigger. There's a new one out on Final Fantasy. So I'm really excited to read about those.
And the one-sentence sales pitch that I'll have is reading the back cover. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels is a journey through development hell and ultimately a tribute to the dedicated diehards and unsung heroes who scale the mountains of obstacles in their quest to create the best games imaginable. And it includes stories behind Diablo 3, Destiny, The Witcher 3, Halo Wars, Uncharted 4, to name a few. Like, the list goes on. But you're going to have to pick up the book and read it, guys.
Highly recommend it. It's like $15 at Barnes & Noble. Pick up at your library.
Amazon
it.
As one does. Audiobook. They do audiobooks.
Yes, they do. So shout out to like Cameron and all of those guys. They were absolutely fantastic. Cameron and I just, we got to talking afterwards because I was like, hey, what is your, looking at authorial intention, because I'm a
He got super English nerdy, and the guys loved it.
Oh yeah, we had a 15-minute conversation after their panel.
Yeah, so you have 10, 15 minutes to ask questions at the end of the panel before they have to shoo everyone out to get the next discussion board in and the next group of people in. But as long as you stand outside and you're not super creepy, they'll have a conversation with you. And Mr. Play was asking all sorts of good questions. I was so proud of him for just being his nerdy, happy self.
We're investigating the murder in the snow. You said we couldn't do it.
I mean, bloodstain and the snow is white. I feel like this shouldn't be too difficult. Do any of these people not track? Wait, there's a murder. Who got murdered?
Remember the guy we find who they're going to strip him bare and make him walk through the mountains? If he comes back, the land's going to have absolved him. Which, by the way, that's a really fucking archaic.
That's old school.
It's a really rough way to.
He's like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
So whatever, they went through the goddamn trees.
Well, Zipline?
No, there's no zip line. They were actually climbing the trees. There was a broken branch, is what she said earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I enjoyed it. I had a fantastic time at PAX. We got a fantastic tabletop game called Master of Wills, which is something that you've been playing.
I've really enjoyed it. Different decks have different like play styles.
It can be used as a deck building game, but not necessarily a trading card game. Now, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, personally, I prefer because it has different decks and they're themed differently, and you can mix and match. With that being said, oh God,
What are you oh-godding about? That noise is very different.
yeah, it is.
That's gonna be really annoying.
Well, hang on one second.
We'll deal.
That sucks. That's gonna be the way it's gonna have to be, though.
Okay.
So,
How's that powerful bow working out for you? Beat it to death. Beat it with a stick.
yeah, I'm okay with that. It's fine. But yeah. So this is this bow is supposed to be considerably stronger than my last one, and I was watching somebody. If we were to go through, and we might have to do it just because I like doing things like that, it trivializes the final mission. If you get when you get the best upgrades, because you can get some pretty sick upgrades for it, to the point where everything is just maxed out.
I remember you mentioning that.
And I was watching somebody's like playthrough of it because they posted it, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's great!"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like it because it has like the decks have themes. So you have like a corporation deck, which is, well, if I can't have it and I can't buy it, and like it'll have cards. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, promoted!" Like just promote the thing. Like that's it. Then you just kill it. I like this hacker like assassin based deck, which is really cool. And then there's the police force kind of deck, and then you use the Dawn Light, which is like a religious.
Yeah, the more religious based, but I like their play style of cards where you can bring things back from the dead. If you don't like certain things, kill it. If there's certain colors, move them straight to allies, which is like the points are locked. Nothing bad can happen to the points once they get to allies. So it's a really great game. They had more of a cyberpunk art style booth setup, and so we explored and we're like, okay, let's go back to this place. And Chris approaches and he's like, hi, your game looks cyberpunk. And he's like sitting there all expectant and looking, and the nice man's like, yes it is. And he's like, but I don't really know what you want. And Chris is like, I don't really know how I want to say. So I take 2 side steps over to the nice man. I'm like, he would like to learn how to play the game, please. So Mr. Play sat and learned first, and then when we got back to our hotel room that night, he offered to teach me, and we've probably played like 10 times or so since then. Each game has 8 rounds. It takes about an hour. We're still learning some of the finer points of cards. And every now and again, when he's beating me, and I'm like, hey, wait, what does that card actually mean? Are you doing the thing that it's supposed to, as it intends? I'm not very trustworthy. Or trusting, either of which. Ooh, what happened to you? You got your butt handed to you a little bit. Huh.
Kind of.
Huh. Well, it was a lot of fun. The flight was pretty short, getting up there. Boston was gross weather.
Was lovely.
But I mean, it was fun. It was just drizzly, kind of snowing sometimes weather. But the food was delicious.
Whatever they're hitting me with is like ripping apart my shield.
Yeah, good thing you have the shield.